Man blitzes are the best way to shut down under center run plays. Obviously, man blitzes have their weaknesses, but if my opponent is trying to run the ball out of an under center formation and I really need a stop, I'm going to go with a man blitz. And my favorite man blitz to go with is mid blitz, which can be found in formations like nickel double mug, nickel 2-4 double mug, and nickel 3-3 double mug. Now what I'll do is I'll use her with the safety manned up on the running back. I'll bring him into the middle of the field and hover about 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, and I'll also spread my D-line and QB contain. What this does is it helps us contain the outside if our opponent does like a play action rollout. And by standing 5 yards back with our user, it leaves us free to flow in either direction if our opponent does an outside run. And so right here, we can see that the run is going to the right and we can just flow to the outside. In this case, we have a ton of defenders to help bring down the running back. And as I mentioned a second ago, if your opponent was to attempt like a play action pass, we can audible them into something like, this play right here. What we're going to see is that we're still going to have crazy fast pressure because of the play action. And in this case, the quarterback doesn't even have time to even scan the field. He's already getting sacked the moment he looks up. And so I love using mid blitz for under center defense. And just as a quick note, guys, I want to say that the play you call in a formation is probably going to be more important than the formation itself. Because I'm in nickel 2-4 double mug right here, and I have had people tell me just as a blanket statement that like, oh, nickel 2-4 double mug, it's great run defense. But if I was to audible into something like Tampa 2 right here, we're still in nickel 2-4 double mug, but if we were to run this exact same halfback stretch, what we're going to see is that there's actually going to be a ton of running room for our opponent. That's almost a 10-yard gain. And so I know that might sound obvious, but if you just ask Madden players, there are people who will just straight up tell you like, oh, this formation is great run defense. And there's no formation that is inherently great run defense. The play you call is going to make it great run defense. And so one more time right here, I like mid blitz. I think it's the best play you can call, especially here in the nickel 2-4 double mug formation. And if your opponent was to run it outside, you just have to get outside with him, help contain that edge, and you can bring that running back down for no gain. And so that is why I always prefer using man blitzes for shutting down under center run plays.